What is going on, people? Mike back here for Mike's Movie Corner Advance. And today, um, today is one weird weekend, and I want to bring you some sad news that, of sources from WXYZ, um, Variety, and all those news sources. Um, Actor known as Matthew Perry, known as Chandler Bing, has passed away at the age of 54. He was found unresponsive, and they believe that he went into cardiac arrest. He was found in his, I believe, and it was his hot tub, if I'm not mistaken, or jacuzzi. He was found unresponsive, and as of right now, they said no foul play or drugs or anything is involved as of right now, but they are doing an investigation. Investigations, is underway. So I'm gonna not try. I'm gonna try not to stay on here too long, but I want to just talk about Matthew Perry's life and all that good stuff. Um, so those of you, to all my friends, fans, he you know was on Friends for about 10 seasons, and he notably played the funny man Chandler Bing. And the last time Matthew Perry was on any like TV of any some sort, they did do a Friends reunion. It was just last year, and a lot of people were talking or were concerned because he was slurring his words and all that stuff. And I think he cleared it up, stating that I think he went to the dentist. I think it was the day before. I think it was the day of. They were shooting the Friends reunion. And he just came out with a book not long ago, too. I think it was shortly after. So, all right, let's go to Matthew Perry's life real quick. Um, So, Matthew Perry was born in Williamston, Massachusetts, to Suzanne Marie, a Canadian journalist, and John Bennett Perry, an American actor. Perry was raised in Ottawa, Ontario, where he became a top ranking young tennis player, junior tennis player, I might add, in Canada. So, he was raised in Canada before he moved out to Los Angeles and he became more interested in acting, but he still wanted to play hockey at the same time too. So um, in 1979, um, a lot of people don't know this, and I didn't even know this, but in 1979, he made his acting debut in a TV series. He guest starred in a TV series role. It was called 240 Robert. I've never even heard of that show before. Never heard of it before the day before my life. Now, when the '80s came, he continued to do some, television guest stars, including he was in Charles in Charge. He was in season one of that in 1985. He was in Silver Spoons in 1986, and he was also in Tracy Ullman in 1987 as well too. In 1988, he made his first film debut opposite River Phoenix, the late great River Phoenix, in a movie called A Night in the Life of Jimmy Reardon. Now, in 1987, however, he made his TV series. He was on a sitcom debut, TV series debut. I believe that lasted for like 13 episodes or something like that. It was a sitcom comedy called Boys Will Be Boys. Now, when that went off the air in 1989, he continued to do guest starring roles, including Empty Nest, Growing Pains, where he played Sandy. Um, for those of you who know who, for those of you who have watched Growing Pains, he notably plays Sandy. He, I think her name was Kel Seaver. Um, that was her boy. That was her boyfriend, and he was in 3 episodes too. And that was the one who died in a car crash. So, and that was a very good episode, very sad episode, I might add. Um, so he kind of got, a little notice off of that too. You know what I'm saying? So when the '90s came, he continued to guest star in. He did TV movies and he also did TV shows, including Who's the Boss and Beverly Hills 90210. He tried his luck again with another television sitcom called Home Free, where that lasted for 13 episodes. Now, in 1994, this is the role that changed his career forever. He was casted as Chandler Bing on Friends for 10 seasons. And during that time, Matthew Perry, he did some notably like well-known movies such as Fools Rush In with Selma Hayek. He did Almost Heroes in 1998 with Chris Farley, and that was Chris Farley's last movie. In 1999, he did a movie, one of my favorite romantic comedies, Three to Tango. That one stars Dylan McDermott, Oliver Platt, and Nev Campbell. In 2000, he did a movie called The Whole Nine Yards. That one I've seen, and that one was a pretty solid movie. So in 2004, when Friends went off the air, he also, he continued to do, guest star roles. He, did, um, you know, guest star roles and The West Wing. He took his shot at a dramatic role, a rare dramatic role. You know what I'm saying? And um he's done a lot of TV work and TV movies, and um he didn't do too many theatrical movies and stuff. I remember he did a movie called Birds of America, and back in 2000, I believe 2006 or 7. And then he did a movie called Numb back in 2007. But in 2006, however, he did a TV movie which, it took, he, it was a tour de force performance. I thought he should have won his first Emmy. Now, he did get nominated for a couple Emmys. I believe he got nominated for 3 Emmys, if I'm not mistaken. And I believe he got nominated for a couple Golden Globes. Um, I think he was nominated for 3 Emmys. During like the latter half of Friends, which I think was around the time where him and Monica got together, and and I could tell you like countless of episodes that that he was so memorable in. But I'm gonna get to that in a second. So the Ron Clark story. And I just watched this movie a couple weeks ago, and this was Perry's, I think, best performance of his career. If you could probably find that on Tubi. I have it on physical media. I have it on DVD, and that one also stars Ernie Hudson as well too. Now, with this movie, he played Ron Clark. He was a fifth grade teacher, if I'm not mistaken. He was an elementary teacher, and his technique of teaching, was so good. And Matthew Perry's performance in that, I thought was a tour de force. And this was him. You could tell like he studied Ron Clark, and you know like kind of like read, like kind of he invested himself in that role. It wasn't, you didn't see, when you see Matthew Perry in this movie, you barely see Chandler Bing, maybe shades of Chandler Bing, but this was probably the most sanest Matthew Perry role I've seen, and he nails it out of ballpark in this one. Um, Matthew Perry, he did some, more TV work, back in the, 2000, late 2000s and, even 20 teens, he's continued to do, um, television work. The last sitcom he was in was a remake of The Odd Couple, and that lasted for 38 episodes, and that was on CBS. And his last credited role was a miniseries called The Kennedys After Camelot back in 2017. And sadly, he hasn't been anything since then, besides the Friends reunion. He's been going through like health issues. He had health issues. He was addicted to drugs, back when, during the, times when he was on Friends. And I think in an interview, he said something about he doesn't remember like half the half the whole, series of Friends. You know what I'm saying? I think it was probably like that 95, 96 era, and you could just tell like he was on some, he was kind of on something, back then, you know what I mean? And he had his, bouts with rehab and all that stuff, and the whole cast, they were all worried, you know what I mean, including myself. And I am a big fan of Matthew Perry. I love Friends. You know what I'm saying? I didn't care for Friends during the 1994 era to like 90, I want to say early 98. Early 98 was starting to get a little bit better, you know what I'm saying? But um from the time Chandler and Monica got together until the very end. That's why I think the show was like it's on its best years. You know what I'm saying? One of my favorite episodes of Friends that I can remember with Matthew Perry, um, is where he proposed to Monica. I think that was Matthew Perry's, I think, one of his best performances. I think he should have won an Emmy for that. He should have won all the awards in the book. And it was an emotional performance too. And Courtney Cox did a thing too as well. Um, I love the rapport, the chemistry between Matthew Perry and Matt LeBlanc whenever they were in scenes together. You know what I'm saying? And also the rapport between um, Matthew Perry and Courtney Cox, when they were in scenes together, when they were together and stuff. And it made you believe that they were in couple of life, in spite of Courtney Cox being married to David Arquette at the particular time. So yeah, I have plenty more like Matthew Perry moments, you know what I mean? Um I remember him as Sandy and Growing Pains, you know what I mean? And um, when Sandy, died of a car accident, and then Mike Seaver, told his sister and stuff like that. And that was Kirk Cameron's, I think, one of his best performances and stuff. And yeah, it was, it's such a, it's sad, this is kind of a sad day, you know what I mean? Because, this is sad because it's like, wow, that this is something, this is somebody that, we, if you're a Friends fan that, you grew up with, you know what I mean? And, like you hoping that, he's going to be okay, he's going to be okay. He's going to be, just fine. You know what I mean? I feel like Matthew Perry should have been given more opportunity to shine in a dramatic, um, in dramatic performances. I feel because honestly, I mean, he could do it all. I mean, he could do comedy, he could do drama. He should have been given more opportunity, more roles and stuff like that. I don't know. Maybe he didn't want to, do too much anything. And I know too that he was also battling depression too, so maybe that also play a factor in why he wasn't, getting as many roles now. You know what I mean? But it's kind of hard, and even with the Fence cast, it was kind of hard because after you've been on a television show for so long, people expect you to play, the same character in something else. But it's like, you can't do that. You don't want to be typecasted either. You know what I mean? And so it gets harder to, get more roles and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's tough, and people go through, depression and have their bouts, with drugs and alcohol and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But I mean, Matthew Perry, he was, clean and sober. He was in the right direction. Um, I think what happened before his death, he was playing, I think it was racquetball or something like that. He was playing a sport, and then, he went in and, got in the, hot tub or jacuzzi, and then he went into cardiac arrest and stuff. Now, there's speculation that he might have been taking drugs, or it might be foul play, or, he might have, killed himself. There's some speculation, but we don't know that yet. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna do a autopsy. They're gonna do an investigation. So yeah, man. Yeah, this comes to show you that we gotta give our legends, you know they just do. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like Matthew Perry, he didn't, get his just due. He never got the Emmy. He never got the Golden Globe. You know what I mean? And you can't punish somebody because they did something bad. You know what I'm saying? Like you just can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like instead of punishing them for their past, just think about the performances that they give, because you just never know when they're not here anymore. And sadly, he's not here anymore. And he's never won an Emmy. He's never won a Golden Globe. You know what I'm saying? He's never won an Oscar. So I felt like he should have had more chances, more roles, to more roles for him to shine. You know what I mean? Ron Clark's story, that was a perfect example. Episodes of Friends, that was another perfect example. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't just a goofy Chandler Bing, and when Chandler Bing, he had some growing up to do as well, too. And when Chandler Bing got with Monica Geller, he finally settled down and he grew up. You know what I mean? He got married, and they adopted a kid, or they pretty much adopted a kid. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, all in all though, like what I'm saying is that we need to give our legends, that just do, what I'm saying? Just this past week, earlier this week, we lost Richard Roundtree, and now we lost Matthew Perry, and it just sucks, because 2023, has been a shit show as far as like losing our legends, you know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, I mean, Ron Clark's story will always be my favorite Matthew Perry movie. I think that was his best movie to date. And yes, it is a TV movie, but I think I think it was his best, besides Friends. I think it was his best role. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, rest in peace to Matthew L. Perry, or I should say Matthew. I believe his middle name is Langford. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, Matthew L. Perry. Yeah, rest in peace to him. And I want to give my final thoughts before I get out of here. Um, yeah, man, just give our legends, their flowers, that just do, while you still care, while they still living on this earth. You know what I'm saying? And you don't know how long, like, legend, these actors and stuff. You don't know how long they're gonna, much longer they're gonna be here. You know what I mean? And that goes for any of us. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So my final thought is to give our legends. They just do. Give them a flowers. While you still can. So with that being said, rest in peace to Matthew Perry. This is Mike from Mike's Movie Corner Rants, and I will see you guys in the next video.